This is you. You're broke. You live in a tiny apartment, work exclusively in crime, and have all the charisma of a wet sock. And yet, somehow, I'm more invested in this character than most AAA protagonists I've played in the last 5 years. Welcome to Schedule 1, the indie crime sim that just swung at the gaming industry with a plastic knife and somehow landed a hit. It's buggy, it's brutally hard, and it's built on aesthetic and one suspicious update away from crashing, and yet it's one of the most compelling games of the year so far. Schedule 1 dropped onto Steam like a brick through a window. No big publisher, no marketing campaign, just a gritty cover image and the promise of a realistic criminal experience. And it delivers. You're not a kingpin, you're just some guy trying to sling weed out of a crappy apartment. The game throws you in with zero explanation, no tutorials, you get a little bit of cash, a handful of connections, and the constant looming threat of total failure. There's no grand storyline, no rags to riches cutscene, just survive. Get your money up, don't get caught, don't get killed, maybe invest in a slightly better jacket. That's it. And somehow that simplicity makes everything feel intensely real. Here's the thing, this game shouldn't work. The textures look kind of ass, the UI is a spreadsheet, and half the characters look like they were rendered in PowerPoint. But that's almost what I love about it. But where Schedule 1 seems to lack being polished, it makes up for it in raw design philosophy. The game trusts you to figure things out. There's no hand holding. You want to sell to this sketchy guy in an alley at 2 AM? That's on you. If it goes south, you're eating pavement. It's a masterclass in tension building. Every deal feels like a risk. Every upgrade feels earned. You know those AAA games where failure doesn't matter because you just reload a checkpoint with full health and a hug? Yeah, Schedule 1 doesn't do that. If you screw up, you feel it. If you lose money, you're broke. You start over. No pity, no checkpoints, just cold, unforgiving grind. And weirdly, that's refreshing. This game is almost an eye-opener of where big budget gaming is right now. Schedule 1 has no filler, no battle passes, no microtransactions, no XP boosters for $5. It's one dude trying to make $100,000 while the world actively works against him. And somehow that's more gripping than the last 10 Ubisoft games combined. It proves that immersion doesn't come from fancy lighting, it comes from systems that work together and from giving the player actual control. When was the last time a game let you fail, truly fail? Not just reload, but spiral into poverty because you messed up 3 deals and can't afford rent. That's not a bug, that's the design, and it's brilliant. Now let's talk about the kind of obvious bugs that are in the game due to its early access. You know, they're definitely there. NPCs walk into walls, cars drift like they're on butter, the animation budget was clearly $6 and a sandwich. But here's the thing, it doesn't take you out of the experience, it actually enhances it. The unpredictability keeps you on edge. You don't know what's gonna happen next. You can't rely on the game to behave, and that makes it kind of thrilling. This chaos becomes part of the storytelling. It's not a clean rise to power, it's messy, it's unstable, and it's real. You're constantly making judgment calls. Do I stash my money here? Do I risk a deal now? Should I upgrade my storage or get a new hideout? There's no right answer. You learn through failure, and the community loves that. Steam reviews are full of praise for the weirdness. People aren't saying great graphics, they're saying I lost 10 grand and had the time of my life. This is a game where the imperfections tell a story, and honestly, that's rare. What this game nails better than most is progression. Not the kind where your numbers go up and nothing changes, the kind where you actually feel it. You remember where you started. You remember sleeping on that gross mattress in the world's smallest apartment. And when you finally hit $10,000, $50,000, or get your first decent stash house, it means something. You made that happen. Not because the game said, go here, press this button, but because you figured it out. You learned, you adapted, and you hustled. That's the soul of Schedule 1. It's not about crime, really. It's about grind, about being dropped into a harsh world and finding a way to survive. That makes it personal. It makes it stick with you. So Schedule 1 isn't perfect, but it never claimed to be. It's a bit messy, it's a bit glitchy, and it looks like a lost PS2 game someone uploaded to Steam in secret, but it's still in early access, and it feels alive. And in 2025, that's more than you can say for most $100 million budget budget titles, and indie games are really looking like they're going to be the future.